So in videos past, we've talked a lot about what you can and should be doing on Fiverr, but today we're going to ask the question, what can't you do on Fiverr? That's right, today we're going to go over a list of things that you cannot do on the platform, because I believe just as important as knowing what you should do, some of the right methods, you should know what you cannot do, things you cannot say, things that are against the terms of service for Fiverr sellers, so that you can avoid breaking a rule and then getting your account suspended, or maybe getting a red flag or a slap on the wrist from trust and safety. There are a lot of changes that have happened over the last 5 years that you need to be aware of. For instance, I actually got a few customer service warnings because I was doing things that were okay 5 years ago. No one ever said they stopped being okay, but then the rules changed and I got a slap on the wrist. So you need to stay up to date on the terms of service. You need to read those in full, know what you can and can't do, because it constantly changes and is tweaked, hopefully to the betterment of the platform. But today I'm going to go over some things that I personally know you cannot do. These are the big things, the overarching things that are a big deal that you absolutely cannot do to hopefully save you from some of the same peril. The first thing you cannot do, and you probably have noticed this if you've ever tried to do it, is you cannot give out or request outside contact information or seek outside payment. You see, Fiverr is a platform that makes money when you have a transaction happen on the platform. They take a 20% commission off of every sale. So if you try to contact someone outside of the platform, get them to pay you off the platform, then they lose their cut, their piece of the pie, and they don't like that. And rightfully so. So it's a part of the terms of service that you cannot exchange outside contact information or request outside payment. That can actually get you terminated or get your whole account terminated on Fiverr. So you probably will have noticed, if you've ever done this, if you type in an email address into a text box, anything with the @ symbol, you'll see the text box turn red, or the message box turn red, saying, you can't say that. That keyword is bad, and it'll actually flag the message, and Trust and Safety will take a look at that. You'll also see that it does the same thing if you write in words like pay or payment, some other words surrounding those kinds of terms. But it's all in an effort to help you remember that, hey, you're intended to meet customers and contact customers only within the platform. And there are some actually gray areas there where they allow top-rated sellers to offer like video and phone consultations. There are some gray areas to that. But just know you can't exchange outside contact information like emails and phone numbers. And there's a lot of things in place to keep you from doing that and knowing that is wrong. And if you do that, you could actually get your account flagged. So don't do that. Don't seek or provide outside contact information or talk about or request outside payment away from Fiverr. Got it? The next thing is you cannot belittle or attack a buyer for any action. Now, that may go without saying, right? I mean, no duh, don't attack a buyer, don't be mean to a buyer. But the truth is, there are some people out there in the internet world that like to push buttons. And if you're a seller on Fiverr, you deal with lots of people every single day. If you sell a lot, then you're going to run up against some people that are not the nicest on the platform. It is the minority. Most people that I have dealt with in my career, over 13,000 gigs done, interacted with probably tens or hundreds of thousands of people on the platform, certainly hundreds of thousands of messages. There are some people that are jerks, but they're the small minority. What you have to do as a seller is you have to continue to be professional, because Fiverr will look into messages where it looks like you're belittling someone, or if there's hate speech, or you're attacking someone, or you're being crude to someone, or you're just kind of doing something unprofessional. That can get you in trouble with Trust and Safety. You need to maintain a professional attitude the entire interaction. You need to stick with the customer, treat them with respect, even if they're not giving you respect. And it's very important to the culture. Fiverr wants to support a positive culture where there's no hate speech, there's no slander, there's no kind of attacking or any kind of other kind of the isms that are out there going on the platform. And so they take that very seriously, and they take the language and the way we speak to each other very seriously. You wouldn't want to have a buyer report you for saying something or doing something that's inappropriate and then having Fiverr slap you on the wrist for it. So make sure that you maintain your professionalism at all times when communicating with buyers. The third thing I want to mention today, not two, three, there you go, is that you cannot try or attempt to influence a buyer's review. Now, this is a new one. This is one that I actually got in trouble for because they changed the rules on me. I had been sending the exact same delivery message for 3 or 4 years. It had been approved by my Fiverr rep, my success manager, long ago, but then that success manager was gone. I had a new success manager, and the rules changed about what you could say to a buyer and what is considered manipulation in the new system. And here's what I was told. You are not allowed to request that a buyer leave you a certain review. In other words, you can't say, hey, please leave me a positive review based on your experience. Hey, would you consider leaving me a positive review? I'm a guy that knows you don't get what you don't ask for. And so I used to ask buyers, hey, was this a great experience for you? Would you mind leaving me a positive 5-star review? You absolutely cannot do that anymore because Fiverr sees that as manipulation of the buyer. You can't say, oh, this is really important to me. I wish you would leave me a positive review because anything less is bad for me. You can't make any kind of attempt to manipulate their emotions or maybe their feelings to give you a favorable response, whether it be in a review or a rating or anything like that. And in fact, that's why they removed the ability to edit reviews. Now, once a review is up there, it's up there unless customer service can actually decide and tell you that it's like slanderous or it's breaking some kind of rules. I've actually had that happen before where someone tried to blackmail me with a bad review to get me to do something. And so customer service removed that. But now when someone leaves a review, it's up there. It can't be edited. It used to be you could ask them, hey, why did I deserve a lower review? I thought I did a better job. What could I do to maybe earn a higher? And they could edit it out, but you can't do that anymore. And you just can't say anything that would manipulate or influence a buyer's review of your work. What's approved and what you can say is, hey, please consider leaving me a rating, leaving me a review. You can't ask them to leave you anything specific, but you can encourage them to leave you a review. And that's a great idea because they need to know that the rating system is important and that each review helps the next buyer decide who they're going to go with and helps your reputation and obviously your business. So you can ask them to leave you a review. You can ask them to be involved in the process. You cannot try to manipulate them in any way or influence the kind of review that they leave. So that's a line you have to walk and be very careful with. Here's something else that you cannot do on the platform. You cannot make a partial delivery or an empty delivery. Now, this will come into play when we talk about unresponsive buyers because that's a problem. Sometimes a buyer will place an order, you don't have what you need, they just stop responding or they never do, or sometimes they can't figure out the system. I always wonder, how did they place that order if they can't figure out the system? But you cannot do a partial delivery or an empty delivery just to stop the clock, meaning to keep yourself from being late. That's happened to me before where a buyer just hasn't responded. So back in the old days, you could send a delivery message and say, hey, you didn't respond, so I'm delivering this. Request a revision when you're ready to get started. That does not work and is not allowed anymore. Certainly not allowed anymore. You cannot deliver anything empty, meaning you can't deliver without a finished product. You can't deliver a partial product. If you do and you get reported, or if Fiverr notices that you delivered something without anything attached or without the final product attached, it could lead to serious ramifications. So make sure that you do your best to keep communication up. Use the resolution center if somebody's not responding, but never, ever, ever send a delivery that is either empty or partially finished, something that's not completely an end product. Make sure you're always delivering the end product to the customer. That way they have it. And the last thing I want to talk about today is that you are not allowed on the platform to send spam messages to people. And actually, Fiverr's system is set up to pick this up. If you copy and paste a message to multiple people, it will begin to notice that you're sending out spam. You're just sending the same message to a lot of different people, and it will cut your messages off and it will flag you for those things. I get those messages all the time from people who maybe think that their services pair well with mine. They go through and find a bunch of people that do what I do and blast them all with these messages saying, hey, I'd love to work with you. Check out my stuff. Though it may seem innocuous, it may seem innocent, it's actually not allowed. It's spam, and Fiverr takes spam very seriously. If you're sending out spam messages, not only will they be deleted and not reach people, but they'll flag your account. You'll get in serious trouble. You'll get a warning. But if you continue to do those kinds of things, you can have your account terminated. Now, you'll be able to see this in your dashboard. There are actually some metrics you can keep track of. If you're a leveled seller, meaning you're like either a level 1, level 2, or a top rated seller, if you have more than 2 customer service strikes within 30 days, or trust and safety strikes within 30 days, then you could actually be demoted by a level. So they take this stuff very seriously, and some of these things don't even take 2 strikes. If you do them once, they can terminate your account. In fact, a great case in point of this is a famous, now infamous seller named Voiceover Pete, somebody that I kind of know. I've known through some people on social media and talked to and got to witness a lot of this saga beside him on social media. And he was actually kicked off the platform completely for breaking some rules by doing some videos that he wasn't allowed. He was a spokesperson, and he got involved in doing these videos for gamers that were actually satirical. They were humor, they were comedy, they were not real. But in the videos, they were asking for credit card details, and it was kind of a big joke. But Fiverr didn't see it as a joke, and so they terminated his account and kicked him off the platform because they're trying to run a very strict line when it comes to spam, to fake and phony things. Don't get involved in projects that include get rich quick, just spammy materials, illegal activity, those kinds of things. Being involved in those things can sometimes get you in trouble as a seller. And I know it seems really unfair when that stuff happens. But the truth is, you need to watch what you're getting involved in, because ultimately you're responsible for working with someone, both on Fiverr and in the real world. You're responsible for working on a project that leads to either illegal things or things that just aren't the most reputable. So make sure you're working with reputable people. Make sure that fate doesn't befall you as well, because you wouldn't want to have a lot of hard work into an account and then have it shut down for something silly. So make sure everything you're doing is above board. It's not considered spam. Don't spam people with messages, and don't work with people that are sending spam out into the world, and it'll all work out for you. And hopefully these tips will help to keep you safe while you're selling on the platform, and now you know some things that you just can't do. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for watching the channel, and thanks for continuing to watch. I am really excited to do these videos for you every single week. New videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I know this last week we didn't post on Monday and Wednesday, but that's because there's a lot going on in our world right now. The coronavirus is taking over. People are taking toilet paper, and everybody's losing their minds. But I promise we're getting back to regular uploads here in the next couple weeks, and we got some great topics coming up. I don't want you to miss it. So be sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you're notified every time I put out a new video. And if you've got questions about the platform, leave them for me below. You're already watching to the end of the video. I mean, come on, you're interested in this stuff. Leave me a question. I answer those. I'd like to do a weekly Q&A session if we had enough questions. Once we get this channel up and running, I'm sure we will. But just want to make sure that we're providing you with the knowledge that you need. You're going to benefit from my expertise of more than 7-8 years now, going on 8 years selling full-time on the platform. I've learned a lot, and I can help you with a lot of the things that I messed up early in my career. So again, my name is Joel Young, seller DJ Young on Fiverr. Thank you so much for watching Fiverr Talks. And until next time, keep doing, because the future favors the doers.